I am going to review the Raven Prophecy. I got this deck the day before yesterday. I did a swap with a lady on one of the Facebook groups. So I'm really happy. And it comes with this really cute knitted bag. How cute is that? So you've seen the Raven Prophecy a million times. But I'm really excited about this deck. I've wanted this deck since I got back into tarot. And I have it! Now what I want to say is I absolutely adore the book. It is simplified, you know, and sometimes that's exactly what you need. Well, I do anyway. You know, it's brilliant. Like when I first started looking into tarot years ago, it seemed all a bit much, to be honest, you know. And like nowadays, it's so much easier. Perhaps that's me because I've aged, I've matured. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, the book is 184 pages. The book is authored by Maggie Steifvater. Hopefully I got that right, Maggie. Okay, so we have pictures of the card. We've got some keywords before she goes into a description of the individual card. So it's sort of, it's about that length. And it goes on to the next page. They're all pretty much the same. But I tell you what, the book, it sort of sings to me. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. Let me tell you a bit about the author and you'll see the sort of style in which the book's written and that might appeal to you. So it says, Maggie Steifvater's life decisions have revolved around her inability to be gainfully employed. I like that humour. Talking to yourself, staring into space and coming to work in your pyjamas are frowned upon when you're a waitress. Indeed. Frowned upon when you're a waitress, calligraphy instructor or a technical editor. All of which she's tried, but highly praised traits in novelists and artists. She's made her living as one since she was 22. Maggie now lives a surprisingly eccentric life in the middle of nowhere. Great stuff. With her charmingly straight-laced husband, her 2 kids and her neurotic dog. Who doesn't want a neurotic dog? She's the type of woman I think I could be friends with, you know. I love that write-up. Sometimes the write-ups are so boring, aren't they? That makes me want to read the book. That makes me want to have a look at the deck. Which is what we'll do now. Fab backs. The black and it's orange. It looks red. I don't know if you can see it's orange, but it is definitely orange. Really like the symbols. So you got the cups, the swords. Is that like a leaf, a branch for wands, and the pentacle, and the infinity symbol. Now, as you know, the colours on this card, you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. A bright orange. I'm not sure what I think about that, to be fair. I have seen this deck trimmed and it looks absolutely stunning. Am I going to trim it? Who knows? At the minute, I'm just enjoying the deck. So let's have a quick look for the images. Very nice. I do think it'll look lovely with the edges trimmed. Do I do it? Do I do it? Come on. Do you know, the thing is, the people who know me know that in real life I don't like birds. It's a real crazy story, but long story cut short is I once had a pigeon stuck in my hair. Honestly, my hair was just a bit longer, and it was dreadful. It scared the life out of me, and I am genuinely scared of birds. It was flapping about in my hair, and it's squawking, and I'm screaming. My daughter was 3 at the time. She was screaming. Oh, look at that. So I'm petrified of birds, but I do like this deck. I'm not going to go for the whole deck, we'll be here forever, but it gives you a general idea. When reading the book, Maggie writes that the deck is to be used intuitively. But of course, we have descriptions in the book anyway. I do think the way the book was written, it is perfect for beginners. You know, it's just kept so simple. Let me read something so you understand what I mean. What should we choose? Okay. Let's choose that last card I picked up. Was it that one? 3 of Swords. Yeah, 3 of Swords. Okay, so the keywords we have are heartbreak, despair, and pain. It says, congratulations, you found the worst card in the deck. Trust me. Well, perhaps not, but surely it is in the top 5, nicknamed the Heartbreak card. It does its best to earn the moniker. The pain symbolised in this card is intimate, personal, and devastating. Logic is often the weapon wielded here. It's the poison of choice in the sword suit, after all. When you see this card, it's either a dire warning to step off your current path before things go to the worst sort of hell, or it's an acknowledgement of a situation you're already in. Needless to say, you'll easily be able to tell which. Tarot skews positive, but it can be hard to see the positive in the 3 of Swords. The most important thing to remember is that pain is transient. You will not be in transient, did I say that right? You will not be in pain forever, and hopefully whatever lesson you learn from this wound will help you in the future. Perhaps while you're being stabbed through and through, it's not helpful to imagine how it will be So let me start that sentence again. Perhaps while you're being stabbed through and through, it's not helpful to imagine how it would be interesting cocktail party conversation in 10 years. Okay, that's clear now. I'm throwing that out there. Troubled backstories are never a bad conversation opener. So you can sort of see the humour in the book, even though I sort of got a bit tongue-tied. I'm quite thirsty, actually, so let me just take a sip, excuse me. I've had about 10 coffees today as well. So, yeah, it's a good little deck. Have we seen any of the major arcana at the moment? Here we go. Do you know, I was actually reading through that book last night, that I think the major arcana really sort of embedded into my psyche. You know, because that book simplifies everything. Let me read you The Hermit. I'll try not to get tongue-tied. Keywords: retreat, wisdom, spirituality. I have a soft spot for the hermit. I think every introvert does. The hermit is someone who longs to retreat in order to better know their mind. Sometimes it is a straightforward pursuit of spiritual knowledge. A monk is the most straightforward interpretation of the hermit, but often the hermit is someone who doesn't even know what they need to know. They just know. Emotions often cloud the hermit's judgment, and the only way to eliminate the messier ones is to retreat into solitude. The hermit card is all for this. If your instinct is telling you you need some time away from a situation, or if your mind is begging you for some quiet, the hermit tells you that you are not wrong. What's harder is when you don't feel that impulse, because the hermit tells you that you need to remove yourself regardless. Sometimes you worry that the world will fall apart if you aren't there to tend to it. Sometimes you are entangled in a harmful relationship that you've been trying to fix. You know that to retreat is to end it, but in all cases, the hermit says you need to tend to your soul first. Give yourself a break, close your eyes, and listen to the wisdom inside yourself. Simple description. That's what we need. Simple descriptions. So, as I've already said, I reckon this would be a fabulous big beginner deck. What more could you ask for in a deck, eh? Absolutely perfect. Perfect for my needs anyway. I do have decks that go more into depth. You know, I've got like the Toph, talks about Kabbalah, astrology. You know, I've got deeper decks. But simple decks, there's a lot to be said for pure simplicity. Because sometimes you've had a long day, you just don't want to have a real deep experience. You know, let's just keep it simple. You know, my tired mind just needs an answer. And thank you very much for the Raven's prophecy.